The story of a people is a remarkable thing. It is written not just in books, but in the very fabric of their being. For the Filipino people, this story is particularly rich. It is a tale of epic journeys across vast oceans. It speaks of ancient migrations and the mingling of diverse groups. Hidden within each individual is a biological inheritance. This inheritance, our DNA, carries echoes of countless generations. It connects the present to a deep and fascinating past. Unraveling this genetic history allows us to truly appreciate the vibrant tapestry that is the Filipino identity today. Think of DNA as a living history book. Each chapter tells of ancestors and their incredible journeys. These microscopic strands, found in nearly every cell of our bodies, are passed down from parent to child. They carry instructions that shape who we are, but they also carry clues about where we came from. Scientists can read these clues. They can trace the movements of ancient populations. They can see how different groups met and mixed. This allows us to piece together a narrative that stretches back into the mists of time. Understanding this genetic heritage is profoundly important. For Filipinos, it offers a deeper connection to their roots. It reveals the incredible resilience and adaptability of their forebears. It shows that the Filipino people are a blend of many ancient streams of humanity. This knowledge can foster a stronger sense of identity. It can also build bridges between different communities within the Philippines. It reminds us that despite diverse appearances or languages, there is a shared ancestral thread. This journey into our genetic past is a journey of self-discovery, not just for individuals, but for an entire nation. We will travel back through millennia. We will witness the arrival of the first humans on these beautiful islands. This is a story of movement, of adaptation, and of connection. Our human story begins in Africa. Many thousands of years ago, our distant ancestors took their first steps out of that continent. They were driven by curiosity, by need, or perhaps by the changing climate. Their journey was long and arduous. They spread across the globe, generation by generation. Some groups ventured eastwards into Asia. They followed coastlines and crossed new lands. Southeast Asia, with its warm climate and rich resources, became a significant new home for these early human pioneers. This vast region would eventually serve as a staging ground for further incredible voyages. From mainland Southeast Asia, some of these early modern humans looked towards the sea. The islands of the Philippines, even then, were a distinct archipelago. During periods of lower sea levels in the ice ages, some islands may have been connected by land bridges, or perhaps these intrepid people developed rudimentary rafts. We believe they first reached what are now the Philippine Islands at least 50,000 years ago. Imagine their arrival. They stepped onto shores untouched by other humans, finding a world teeming with new life and new challenges. These were the true pioneers of this land. These earliest inhabitants are often referred to collectively as Negritos. This term describes diverse groups who share certain physical characteristics, such as darker skin and curly hair. They were skilled hunter-gatherers. They knew the forests intimately. They understood the rhythms of nature. They lived in small, mobile groups, adapting to the varied environments of the islands. For thousands of years, they were the sole human occupants of the Philippines. Their resilience is remarkable. They thrived in these islands, developing unique cultures and deep connections to the land. A new chapter in the human story of the Philippines began around 4,000 to 5,000 years ago. This was marked by the arrival of a different group of people. These were the Austronesian-speaking peoples. Their origins are believed to lie in what is now Taiwan. They possessed remarkable skills as seafarers. They built sturdy outrigger canoes. These vessels could carry them across vast stretches of open ocean. This was a true maritime revolution. It allowed them to embark on one of the most widespread migrations in human history. The Austronesian expansion was an astonishing feat. From their homeland, these people spread southwards. They sailed into the Philippines, becoming a dominant new presence. But their voyages did not stop there. Over centuries, they continued to explore and settle. They reached Indonesia, Malaysia, and further west to Madagascar, off the coast of Africa. They also sailed east, across the vast Pacific Ocean. They settled remote islands like Hawaii, Easter Island, and New Zealand. The Philippines served as a crucial early stepping stone in this incredible dispersal across the oceans of the world. These Austronesian migrants brought profound changes to the islands. They were skilled farmers. They introduced new crops like rice and taro. They also brought domesticated animals such as pigs and chickens. This agricultural knowledge allowed for larger, more settled communities. They also brought their languages, which became the basis for most of the languages spoken in the Philippines today. Their arrival led to interactions with the existing Negrito populations. Sometimes this meant assimilation, sometimes displacement, and often a complex intermingling of cultures and genes over many generations. Section 4. Echoes in our genes. Traces of trade and ancient migrations. Our DNA is like an intricate historical map. It contains tiny variations called genetic markers. These markers are passed down through generations. They act like signposts pointing to our ancestral origins. By studying these markers, scientists can identify different lineages. They can trace the paths of ancient migrations. For example, specific markers can help distinguish between ancestry linked to the early Negrito inhabitants and later Austronesian arrivals. These markers tell a story of who lived where and when they might have moved. They are the subtle whispers of our deep past, recorded in our biology. In Filipinos, we find a fascinating array of these genetic markers. Some markers are more common in individuals with strong Negrito heritage. These are echoes of those very first inhabitants of the islands. Other markers are characteristic of the Austronesian expansion. These are found widely across the archipelago. They tell of the farmers and seafarers who transformed the islands. The distribution and frequency of these different markers vary across different regions and ethnic groups within the Philippines. This creates a rich and complex genetic landscape, revealing layers of history embedded within the population through time. Long before European ships reached these shores, the Philippines was already a hub of activity. The islands were part of extensive pre-colonial trade networks. Merchants and mariners from China sailed south, seeking goods like pearls and bêche de mer. Traders from India and Arabia also made their way to these islands. They brought spices, textiles, and new ideas. This was a period of vibrant cultural exchange. These interactions were not just about goods, they also led to the mingling of peoples. Small amounts of genetic material from these traders also found their way into the local populations. Section 5. A colonial crucible, new bloodlines and enduring legacies. The 16th century brought a new, transformative wave of arrivals to the Philippine Islands. This time they came from much further afield. European explorers led by Ferdinand Magellan sailing for Spain reached the archipelago in 1521. This marked the beginning of a long period of Spanish colonization. For over 300 years, Spain ruled the Philippines. This era brought immense changes to the culture, religion, and social structures of the islands. It also left an undeniable, though often subtle, imprint on the genetic makeup of the Filipino people. During the Spanish colonial period, there was intermarriage and mixing between Spanish colonizers and the local population. This was not always widespread, but it occurred. Spanish soldiers, officials and clergy often formed relationships and had families with Filipino women. The children of these unions, known as mestizos, carried a blend of European and indigenous ancestry. Furthermore, the galleon trade between Manila and Acapulco in Mexico also brought individuals from Latin America to the Philippines. Some of these individuals, who themselves were often of mixed heritage, also contributed to the gene pool. Following the Spanish-American War at the end of the 19th century, the Philippines came under American rule. The American colonial period was much shorter than the Spanish one, lasting for about half a century. However, it also brought new influences and new people to the islands. American administrators, soldiers, teachers, and businessmen arrived. While intermarriage might have been less common or differently patterned than during the Spanish era, it still occurred. These colonial encounters, both Spanish and American, added further layers of complexity to the Filipino genetic heritage. The primary ancestral components remained Austronesian and Negrito. However, contributions from Europe, particularly Iberia, and to a lesser extent from the Americas, became part of the mix. These influences are often more visible in certain families or regions. Section 6. Our rich heritage, diversity, discovery, and shared destiny. Today, the genetic landscape of the Philippines is a vibrant mosaic. It is a beautiful testament to thousands of years of human migration and interaction. The Filipino people carry within them the legacies of ancient hunter-gatherers. They hold the heritage of intrepid Austronesian seafarers. There are also subtle traces from distant traders and more recent colonial arrivals. This rich blend has resulted in remarkable diversity across the archipelago. Different islands and even different regions within islands can show unique patterns of genetic ancestry, reflecting their specific local histories and connections. Modern genetic research is a powerful tool. It is helping us to unlock the secrets of this complex past. Scientists can now analyze DNA with incredible precision. They can identify specific ancestral markers. They can map out ancient migration routes. This research is not just about history. It can also provide valuable insights into health. Some genetic variations can influence susceptibility to certain diseases. Understanding the genetic makeup of Filipino populations can help in developing better healthcare strategies and personalized medicine for the future. It is a science that looks back to inform our way forward. For many Filipinos, learning about their genetic ancestry can be a deeply personal journey. It offers a tangible connection to forebears they never knew. It can explain family stories or physical traits. It can foster a sense of belonging to a larger human story, one that spans continents and millennia. This understanding can also promote greater appreciation for the diversity within the Philippines itself. It highlights the interconnectedness of all Filipinos, despite regional differences. It shows that everyone is part of this grand unfolding narrative of human endeavor and resilience in these islands. From the first bold footsteps of ancient hunter-gatherers to the revolutionary voyages of Austronesian navigators, each wave of arrival, each interaction has contributed to the unique heritage that Filipinos carry today.